Yeah, that's what happens when Trump mania runs wild on you.
I don't know what is worse, like a slow news week or a news week where everything could fucking happens.
Oh god!
Like this past week, like holy shit!
You got a new place? Hold on.
And it's not. Oh yeah, I got 2 sets I got to do.
Yours or you commissioned or
yeah, commissioned. I got to do those. What was I saying? I don't even remember. Oh, yeah. So it's not even like a whole bunch of individual things have happened. It's just so much fucking information has come out since the assassination attempt last weekend. It's incredible. And some of it is fucking
you would have owed me $20
crazy. For what?
If I had taken that fucking bet. Last episode?
I
didn't clear my throat once.
Was that the last episode?
Yeah.
I don't even remember what episode
I had the 2 different cans of soda.
Did you?
I didn't clear my fucking throat once.
Should have taken the bet.
I should have. I don't gamble unless I know I'm going
That is like, you should play numbers then. Because that fucking almost never happens.
Yeah.
You drink air and you clear your throat. It's miraculous. It's incredible. It's
wait, what was it? What was it? What was
Spaceballs.
No, what was the air brand?
Perrier. What's up, everybody? Welcome back.
Oh, it was such a good movie. Really quick. I'm sorry. I know. We'll talk more about serious shit.
Oh, God. Hopefully it's not.
I introduced a 17-year-old to Blazing Saddles.
Okay, anyway. So, like, whatever.
No. About 20 minutes into the movie. They really aired this on TV? Yeah, uncensored, too.
They used to.
He goes...
And then Gen Z happened, and it all went downhill. And that's, old hat at this point.
Why couldn't you have eaten more fucking Tide Pods? Made some room for the rest of us.
Oh, God. You just incited more violence than Trump did this last week, when really he had, I wouldn't want to say every right, but all the cards were lined up for him to take that route and really make inflammatory remarks toward the Democrats, toward the crazy progressive left, and really ramp up the temperature because they tried to kill him. And
they or someone?
Someone, whoever it was that didn't obviously like Trump, that's the direction they went. And he, like, all the cards were in play where he could have gone that route, and he didn't. Not at all. If anything, because I watched the RNC.
So I watched clips of it
all week. He was the most humble I have ever fucking seen Trump. I'm like, wait a minute. If the people get the Trump we've had over the last 8 years, plus this humble version of him, right? This is like fucking Super Saiyan Trump. Like, there's forget it. Forget whoever you whatever fucking nerd.
Say it right, asshole.
But whatever.
It's like, jeez, like fucking someone's grinding in my head.
Whoever you put up against him, forget it. It's done. Like, it's all over.
God.
Vince McMahon did that angle once in wrestling. It was the weirdest thing, but
he also enjoyed blanking blank and blank in blank spots with blank people in this blank section. And then blanking all over their blanks.
Talk about the RNC. His wife was at the RNC. I mean, there's a shit ton of people.
Vince McMahon's wife?
Yeah, Linda McMahon was at the RNC. Well, she's in, like, politics. What is she? I can't remember what she is. Something about small business. Like a board of, she's on the board of something for small business. I can't remember. I don't really follow the McMahons anymore for obvious reasons, unless something comes out in the news in regards to his trial.
Listen, there's a lot of stuff that comes on things when it comes to the McMahons.
Actually, the only thing that is like come out in the news about his trial is just it's really this back and forth. There's nothing major yet, obviously, because if there was something that actually came out and be like, I would talk about it here, but she was out there talking, and I will say this about Linda McMahon. I appreciate the work she's doing for small businesses. But when she talks, I could easily take her out of there and put Hillary Clinton in. And to me, it just sounds, not voice sound, but just how she says and what she says. Like, this sounds like Hillary. Yeah, this sounds like Hillary Clinton. And I'm like, ugh. So, Democrats and Republicans, you each have your own version of each other's side. And I think that proves it right there.
Obviously, she doesn't listen.
So, you know what a really surprising thing this week was? No, not surprising. No, I guess it wasn't surprising at all. This is one of those things where I think
it's been let down.
I think we've called this a while, and maybe surprising for someone that doesn't pay attention, but Trump or Biden probably bowing out this weekend, or by the end of the weekend. And what was it? Wednesday or Thursday, when he said, "I'm not going to bow out unless a doctor tells me I'm not able to run." He says, "I'm going to stay in this." And what was it? Fucking 2 hours later, "Oh, I got COVID." I'm like, he's got COVID, and he suspended everything campaign-wise. Like, they're not doing anything now. And now
I guess it was a good thing for all those funds to freeze up.
Yeah, so, like, because of all that shit, like, the writing was on the wall.
Oh, God.
And it was just people like Biden and Harry Sisson and all them. They're like, "Oh, no, he's perfect. He's going to run. It'll be great.
Perfect.
It'll be a blue wave."
He's perfect for filling a coffin, maybe. Of old age.
Boy, it's just like one after another. But are you angry today?
I don't think so.
But yeah, so it was like 2 hours later, and then I shouldn't say he. It's come out through people around that camp, and like, he should be bowing out by the end of the weekend.
So who do you think they're going to backfill him with?
That's the question. Because here's the thing. Like, the biggest name, I think, right now, like a viable candidate, the biggest name right now is probably Gavin Newsom.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Mamala.
No. A viable candidate. I said viable candidate, all right? But the problem is this.
Sorry, Drew.
Whoever takes the role right now for the Democratic nominee, they're basically being the punching bag. They're going to take that role. Gavin Newsom is not going to want to take over because, what are we, less than 4 months out from...
Oh, yeah.
The
August, September, October, November. Yeah, 3.5 months tops.
Yes. We are less than 4 months out to campaign, to raise funds. Good luck. So it's going to be a throwaway campaign. It's going to be like, there's just not enough time to campaign. There's just not. It's not enough. Like,
with $90 million?
For funds, raising funds, doing all that. You know how much money it costs to do all these?
I'm sure it costs something.
A lot. But why do you think there's super PACs?
But is it really so? Now, we've made tons of jokes, and how many have come to fruition? I'm actually going to make a serious statement. I'm not even making a joke. Is it so far-fetched that they're going to find somebody who might even slightly get some voters behind them, and then literally bank on the fact that there's all the anti-Trump? If it doesn't matter who they put in that, people are going to vote for it.
I agree. But here's the problem. Now, I'm just talking about him campaigning and raising money. Now factor in how much there's not anti-Trump this time around as opposed to 4 years ago. This time 4 years ago. Now look at the landscape, especially after last weekend. Like, there's just not... Right now, the first poll that came out, they have Republicans at like 316 electoral votes. Like, it's looking like, maybe not as bad as the Reagan, but it's looking like it's going to be Reagan all over again, where it's just a complete he won like 48 or 49 of 50 states. Like, it was a complete landslide.
Yeah, it was.
But it's looking like a modern version.
I remember learning about it.
Yeah, it's looking like a modern version of that. Now, granted, they're polls and they swing, obviously, But
Both ways.
it's they do sometimes. Revolving door.
I'm such a whore.
Out with the old, in with the new. Out with the new, in with the old.
In with the front door, in the back door. Take
Yeah.
it back.
Yeah. Out the mouth. But the reason why I say nobody is going to take that position, because everything that this administration is really getting attacked for right now: immigration, the economy, inflation, foreign wars, like on 4 or 5 different fronts.
Yep.
Whoever takes that role now has to answer all these questions, and not only answer those questions from the prior administration. What are you going to do to fix that? And it's under the Democratic Party, which Biden and the Biden-Harris administration has championed, air quotes, all these things that administration wants. And look how it's turned out. Now that guy that comes in has to be like, okay, this is what happened under your party. Why is this way? And what are you going to do to fix it without pissing off your voter base and without pissing off your party? Someone's got to do that. So that's why everyone's like, I think it's going to be Kamala. Because everyone fucking hates Kamala already. So it's like, whatever. She has no future in politics. So if she...
Not after this.
Absolutely not. Like, not even like being like, I don't like Kamala and Biden and the administration. That's just looking at everything that's happened. There is no future for her unless she's going to be the mayor of like the town of Glen. And she probably won't even get that. It's got a population of what? 800
Minus
cows
750.
and maybe 30 people. Like, there's just, she doesn't have a political career unless she, no, she doesn't. There's nothing.
I say,
There's nothing that could happen that she would have.
Moore Harris, 2024. Mamala.
Oh my God. Yeah, what does that mean? That means something.
Kamala Harris.
No.
That's
She said mamala, and I think it's in Spanish. That means like cunt or some crazy shit. You gotta look it up.
She called. Yeah, look it up, folks. She called her.
Look it up right now.
She called her. Like, will you be mom? Will you be the mother that we need, Mamala? And Kamala Harris's face, like if she could eat her out, she'd have made her gush.
All right, yeah, here it is.
Let me hear it. I know you sent me the video way back.
Oh, that's Yiddish. Wait a minute, is that it? In Yiddish, it means like child or infant or something like that. No. Yeah, their word is for me is mamala, so they call me mamala. Okay. But our country, we need you to be mamala of the country, locking eyes with the vice president and nodding her head.
There we go.
First of all, I'll tell you, we kind of don't use the term step, because I just think I love Disney. However, Disney kind of messed that up for a lot of us over the years. The evil step parent, and their word for me is mamala, and so they call me mamala. I keep thinking in my head that we all need a mom. I've been thinking that we really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now. Yeah. But in our country, we need you to be mamala of the country.
We need you to be mamala of the country.
I can't find it. I can't remember. I saw it was like. Maybe it is. Here it is. Oh, okay, yeah. Mamala in Spanish means suck it.
We need you to suck it for the country. Suck it.
Here's the okay, so I mean, we're gonna get into more later.
Sucking?
as the show goes on, clearly, and it's get like this fucking shit's gonna get wilder. But I'll save it. I'll save it for the end to tie it all together. But
Suck it. What's it from? What's that from?
DX.
No. Oh, the show Suck Yourself. That's what in the show Weeds. It's a funny show.
Oh. But yeah, so going back, Biden evidently is going to bow out by this. And like I said, the question is who's going to take the reins. I don't think any self-respecting politician is like, I'm going to do this. Like
Justin Ventura. Watch him.
No, he's
win.
an independent through and through. He hates the Democrats as much as he hates the Republicans. But I think the only person that could do it is AOC or Kamala. But there's still people that fucking like AOC.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine Jesse?
Probably because they want to date her. Anyway,
I would tear up AOC.
you would do?
I would tear her up.
What?
Exactly. Could you imagine if Jesse Ventura actually were president? This country needs to do more of this. It's like John
What was? He's like,
chewing this stuff will make you into a goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus Rex.
He's always like, I live in the Baja. I'm from the Baja. I go down there 4 months out of the year. I live off the grid.
Ted Nugent.
I love Jesse Ventura, but I guess he's kind of a douche.
I don't know. I've never met the guy.
It was oh my God, what's his name? Theo Vaughn. He interviewed him, and he after the show, or like, you know, shows after that episode, he goes, "That was like my worst interview ever," because Jesse Ventura basically just talked the whole time, and he like Theo Vaughn was just kind of there. He said, but either him, I think he said him or Ric Flair. They were both like,
Real? Come on. I never much cared for the guy as a wrestler. He always seemed like
he was an awesome wrestler. Awesome wrestler.
He could sell it.
Oh my God, he was awesome at selling. You know who wasn't? Hulk Hogan. As much as I love Hogan.
But see, and that's the thing. Like, he almost seemed cheesy at it. But I think that was part of his gimmick.
If you watched wrestling as I did as a kid all throughout, even now, like Ric Flair's cheese factor, we'll say 10 is what the fuck, is probably a solid 6. Because there's some crazy ass shit out there.
Yeah, no.
Maybe that's just because that's why when you say, oh, it's cheesy, I'm like, well, yeah, it was like kind of the need to win on that side, but there's some crazy shit where you're like, what the fuck am I watching? Even me, like as an avid, especially golden and new gen and attitude era wrestling like connoisseur, like I look at some shit and be like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like Bastion Booger? What in the holy hell kind of gimmick is that? Like it's fucking weird as shit. There's a whole story behind that gimmick, but he wore like these crazy, it was like 3 strap things that go to this weird thong looking thing, and he'd like pick his nose and like eat. It was like 1994, 95. That's when the whole gimmick thing.
Who was the special needs wrestler?
Eugene. You know what's crazy about this? Is way off topic. You know what's crazy about Eugene? When I was a kid, I always thought
he wasn't special needs though.
No, it would be awesome if a wrestler came out, and this has probably been done dozens of times, but like on one of the big promotions, and his whole gimmick was gimmick infringement, and not as like a joke, but more like take a serious route and get in their head kind of thing, and steal their moves as they're wrestling them, their finishers, their signatures, you know, their catchphrases, just to fuck with them. And then WWE runs with that idea, but as a fucking retarded guy, like. I mean, it's serious, though. It was a character.
Yeah.
But that's what he did. He just stole people's lines. I'm like, well, you're halfway there. Like your character.
Whoa, you're halfway there. Whoa, licking that chair.
He should have came out to that song. Jeez. So, yeah. AOC and Kamala Harris. So... those, I think, are the only logical people that could, or Kamala especially.
Kamala would be the easiest because, like you said, I gotta agree with it. She's got no future in politics.
And like I said,
so sit someone up just to get shot right down.
Really, no.
AOC.
AOC still has her followers. Like I don't think
she's got followers.
She's too progressive, and she can't handle criticism. Oh, obviously, anything criticism comes her way, her first thing is she shrugs it off. Like very visually on stage. We've seen that before. And if it's in regards to social media, like back and forth in interviews, what's she say? She usually, one of her go-tos is like, oh, they probably want to date me. I'm like, what is this, fucking high school? You sophomores? Like, they just want to date me. Like,
they're just being mean to me because I won't show them my boobs.
Yeah. Like,
again, wait, what?
The red light does mean it's recording. I know. That just went to all of you. Maybe a few of you know. So was that like 20 years ago?
Yeah,
it was about 20 years ago. Maybe a little longer.
Probably 21. Well, actually, is it? Oh. Thank God for disappointed dads.
You are not the father.
How many failed fathers do you think it takes to fill up a strip club?
Depending on what city you're in. Anywhere from 3 to 100, I don't know.
God.
So, last week we talked about the fallout. Well, my whole note structure from last week was the fallout from the debate.
Yeah, which was...
And then that was completely pushed right to the bottom of everything because of the assassination attempt.
Yep.
So this week, like, the fallout is the assassination attempt. And, oh boy, so much has come out. It, like, really in the first couple days, but even so after that. I'm like, what? Every day I've looked at the news and been like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Over and over.
He's stuck in a rut.
Over.
Just give him a minute to reboot.
Oh my God. That's a whole other thing too.
On this fucker for
That's
once.
a whole other thing too.
The reboot?
Yeah. You haven't heard that?
Of what?
Oh my God. Okay, before I get into the fallout. So, all right, we'll just go right to the beginning. Yesterday at work, I was following IT guys around because they were going through our fire suppression systems and updating them and fixing a few things on them that we had issues with after like 3-4 weeks ago. We had a lightning strike. I think I told you about it. It hit the school.
Yeah.
Well, it fried one of the circuit boards. They had to replace that, and then they had to fix that. So we're going through. We get to the bus garage, and they go into it. They log on, and it starts to reboot the system, and then it crashes. Okay, whatever. And it goes back into reboot. So, and then it starts to reboot, goes black screen, single line, crashes again. Back into home screen, reboot, and then just starts this loop and just doing it over and over. He's like, what the So we spend probably 4 hours in that one building trying to figure this out. Finally, they're just like, all right, we're just going to replace the panel and be done with it. So I didn't think anything of it. Whatever. It's computers, modern technology. It's fucking wonderful. So come home, whatever. Wake up this morning and open up my phone, and on Ground News, the first thing I see is this. Hold on. I might have actually saved it. No, I didn't. Okay. The first thing I see is there's this global outage.
Yeah, internet and network kind of thing.
Of this constant, reboot thing that's going on. It's all Microsoft. It's all Microsoft due to a glitch that happened from... What company is it? Let's see if I can find it.
Okay, finally caught up with us.
CrowdStrike CEO. All right, yeah, the CrowdStrike company. They put in an update, a content update, and it ended up shutting down the entire system. So 911, not globally as in everywhere, but spread throughout the globe, 911 systems are down, air systems are down, just regular internet systems are down, all over the fucking globe. And so then I got a hold of my boss, and I sent him the link. I'm like, hey, I might have found the culprit. These fucking CEOs. But yeah, so there's this major outage. all because of one update. And so now the guy's like being questioned constantly. It's like, well, how come? Actually, I'll just let you.
According to your statement, it was a single content update that
Watch the
has
CEO
managed to
answer.
shut down air travel, credit card payment systems, banks, broadcasts, street lights, 911, emergency around the globe. Why is there not some kind of redundancy or some sort of backup? How is it that one single software bug can have such a profound and immediate impact?
Well, when you look at the complexity of cybersecurity, you're always trying to stay one step ahead of the adversaries. Excuse me, man. Just 1 second, please.
Oh yeah, take a drink of
Yeah.
water.
Like, this guy knows he's fucked because those are valid questions. How do you upload one thing into your software system and it shuts the fucking globe down?
It was a global tracking, communication, recording update that they hid in content.
And you know what? You can't even shrug it off anymore.
No.
You can't. But the fact that it's not only like 911 and shit, but right down to street lights and fucking just laptops and just basic computers, like top to bottom,
Skynet.
everything. But because of that, I'm like, I was looking around watching RNC stuff today, and just some research and looking shit up, and then I looked at my computer. I'm like, I'm not going to shut that down yet, because that's the problem. People like shut the computer down or go to restart it, and then it goes into that loop. Same thing like what happened at my job yesterday.
Yeah.
They went to restart it to upload an update file, and it just went into this infinite reboot. So I'm like, well, it looks like you're staying on for a while, because I don't know what the fuck the deal is here.
Please, I'm tired. I want to go to sleep.
Shut up, you. I'm going to call my computer Tiny Tim now. Can I just have a bean? No.
Just press my power button. Stick your finger in my USB port. What the fuck? Why is all your electronics becoming whores?
And I didn't even shut
Spit
it off.
on my screen.
It shut itself off when we lost power from that storm.
Yeah.
And it turned itself back on when we gained power. So it was still on. Even during the storm when it was off, it was on.
Too late, James. You already touched my keys. Don't stop. What the fuck?
God, what are you, from Disney? I didn't even know you were a woman. I thought you were just fucking computer. Stupid fucking Disney.
I'm non-binary. You can put your dick in in my disk drive.
Again, what's up, everybody?
This is why the youth is failing, because we don't talk about important things seriously.
How can you? Like, it just gets depressing.
Oh, God,
it's just
yeah.
better if you just, acknowledge it. And then
Masturbate to it.
And then poke fun. Well, okay, well, that's a difference between this side of the table and that side of the table, I guess.
Listen, Kami.
So, back on track, the whole fallout. From NBC News.
Good game.
Trump rally shooter was reported as a suspicious person an hour before opening fire, sources say. The gunman who opened fire on former President Donald Trump's Pennsylvania rally was reported as a suspicious person and photographed 1 hour before he began shooting, according to three sources familiar with the briefing for senators Wednesday. Secret Service and FBI officials shared a timeline of events and revealed troubling new details about the assassination attempt and raised questions about why Secret Service officials allowed Trump to take the stage, which is one of the first big things that came out. And even Dan Bongino, who's ex-Secret Service, he's like, he was pissed. He's like, how the fuck? And this was before the long timeline of 1 and 3 hours came out.
Yeah.
This is just the couple minutes or 10 minutes prior, or what is it, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it was prior when they identified him. And he's like, how do you let someone go on stage? How do you let a president or former president go on stage when you know this? It's already identified and flagged as a suspicious person. How do you let that happen? Good question. Thomas Matthew Crooks, who had a rangefinder and a backpack with him, was reported as a suspicious person 1 hour before he began shooting, Senator John Barrasso, Republican from Wyoming, said in a statement after the briefing. Quote, This was 100% cover your ass briefing, Barrasso said. He had a rangefinder and a backpack. The Secret Service lost sight of him. Roughly 30 minutes after the initial suspicious person report, Pennsylvania State Police notified the Secret Service of a suspicious person at 5:51 p.m. The Secret Service notified its snipers at 5:53 p.m., the sources say. And at 6:02, Trump took the stage, and at 6:09, members of the crowd notified police that Crooks was on top of the roof. 2 minutes later, Crooks opened fire at 6:11 p.m. Just in that statement, there's a whole bunch of things. As I read through it, I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So, an hour before, they report him as a suspicious person with a rangefinder and backpack. What's interesting is I think earlier that day, like I think this was the 3 hours before, his parents had notified the police, said he was supposed to go target practice or like target shooting, and never came back. And he was reported as he's missing. It's abnormal, and he has a gun. That was reported before he was sighted with a rangefinder. Then the rangefinder sighting happened, and that was an hour before, okay? That's suspicious enough. Here's where it gets fucking wild, though. Or at least odd. When they were talking about the state police, during the briefing, or I don't know if it was a briefing, it was reported after the fact, the state police, the Secret Service said the state police were the ones that were supposed to have eyes on that roof that Crooks was on.
Positioned on, sorry.
But the thing is, Dan Bongino and a lot of other people say is like, why the Secret Service does not hand off positioning and sighting all these possible areas, these red flag areas. They don't hand that job off to local authorities. That is not theirs. State police said their job was given to them was traffic control. That was it.
Okay.
So the Secret Service said, well, that was supposed to be their job and no one was up there. So that was the first one. Second one was when they were during the briefing, which was only 4 questions long. That was one thing. The briefing after the attack was abruptly ended. They gave 4 questions. 3 of them were given by Democrats, and then it just ended. So what's her name? Cheadle. Was it Kim or Catherine? Something Cheadle. They gave 4 questions and then abruptly ended it, and then they were off. And everyone was like, "What?" There's so many obvious questions. The severe lapse of judgment. Like, is this a severe lapse of judgment? Because it was incredible what happened. When they asked why wasn't anyone on the roof, the response was, "Well, the roof was sloped, and we thought it would be dangerous for any of our guys up there." One, if you see the video of the roof,
that roof
it's not fucking that sloped.
It's like a what, 5 degree?
Yeah, it's like that at max. It's not that sloped. There was another ex-Secret Service member who said all the young guys, all the new recruits in Secret Service, they get roof duty. Everyone goes up on the roof. Like that, well, you got to think of it. That's got to be fucking hot as shit and uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
But they get, there's no roof that they wouldn't go on. Obviously, there were other roofs that they were perched on. Some look more sloped than that. So that excuse just kind of goes out the window. Doesn't fucking make sense. He also had ties to Blackrock, the shooter. He was seen in a commercial for Blackrock. He's in it a couple times.
Yeah, you sent me that video.
Yeah. Now that's deep state stuff. That now you're getting into Alex Jones and whatever conspiracy theorist.
Ventura.
Yeah, but now you're getting into that territory. That's deep state stuff. And a lot of people are saying this is deep state. Even like us, I'm like, well, I could be, probably. If not inside job, a coordinated effort, meaning he's not the only one involved in this.
Oh, hell no.
And it really doesn't seem like it. There's so many head-scratching things in this. Like everyone's already said, this either has to be the biggest foul-up in the history of foul-ups and coincidences ever, or this is a coordinated effort at the very least. At the very least. There's so much shit that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, one of the things I heard on TikTok was, because apparently there was a small section of the video where people were able to zoom in, and with modern cameras it was nice. They were able to make it look very detailed, very clear, where you see the hole suddenly appear in Donald Trump's ear. And they're saying with the style rifle he had and the angle, it shouldn't have done a perfectly flat hole.
What do you mean?
So if you think about it, let's say this is his ear.
Right.
Right? It's on this side. You got shot in the right ear. If you shot, the hole should be at an angle. This is his ear. The hole should not be perfectly straight through.
Right.
Because then that means it goes through this way, and where is that?
Right.
Right into the head. Someone was one of the videos I saw showed, they did like the computer graphic description, like at this angle, the ear, the hole should be this with this size caliber.
Right.
It should be like there should be. It almost looks like when you look through it, when you look at it like this, you see almost like a shape like that.
Right.
And as you turn to see, depending on the angle, the hole will look more narrow or more wider. But in the video, it's almost a perfectly clear circle right here,
right
through where you should see his head.
I haven't. You have to send that to me. I haven't
I'll
seen
see
that.
if I can find it again.
The only thing I can say to that is you're shooting it's an ear, and it's basically only flesh.
Cartilage, but still.
Right. It's super thin. So who the hell knows what happens, when you hit it. But I'd find that interesting. I'd like to see that.
I'll see if I can find it again. It was a few TikToks back, and by few, I mean, I sometimes get to sit for upwards of an hour at some of my spots. So I TikTok.
I TikTok. I'm looking for...
Let me see if I can find it.
Oh my god. There's a time lapse too of how much you want to bet that. Let me see if I can just go through this. Oh my god, so many unavailable things already. Oh yeah, there's one poll. This is a Open Labs, Democratic firm. This map falls within the margin of error. They're talking. Oh, I was wrong. Electoral votes of 358. This is a Democratic poll after the assassination attempt, which is a fucking it's a landslide, to say the least. A lot of these have been taken down already, of course.
Wow.
What?
I typed in Trump assassination hole in ear conspiracy.
Right.
On Google, there's only 3 videos that show me. Not show more, not show
It
less.
might not have a lot of traction, though, because, like I said, I haven't heard... My feed's full of a lot of crazy shit, and I haven't heard anything about that. The only thing I've heard is, and this might tie in with that, and that just might be going further with it, is the Democrats right off the bat, or the progressive left right off the bat, said this is staged. Like, of course Trump wanted to almost get shot.
That would make sense.
I got a 20-year-old who voted in the last election for Trump somehow. Yeah, don't worry about that. That's what they said. Oh, he voted for Trump last time. I'm like, wait a minute. Anyway. So you got a 20-year-old who evidently was a bad shot in whatever rifle class or something or other he was in. And I trusted him, who'd never shot at that distance outside, at least prior to this, and always trained inside, to take that shot, not factoring in wind or humidity or anything like that. Definitely was staged. It's a good thing he got a good shooter to take that crazy ass random shot.
Yeah.
And time it just right so when Trump turned. I guess you got to factor that in too. Trump's motion of turning at the same time that he got hit.
Sheer coincidence? Or?
No, I just mean the hole in the ear thing. Like that.
Yeah, like I said, I'll do some digging, see if I can find it for you and send it to you.
Let me see if I can find this. I have it saved. It's a good thing I did because I think it was taken down already. Oh, the wireframe thing. Yeah. There you go. This video came out. I can't remember. PointConsciousness.com. I don't remember who actually did this video, but this is someone wireframed it. Like, that's fucking crazy. I'm gonna take this and save that video because it'll.
Take a look.
Yeah, but I don't know where the hell. Oh, that's. Yeah, it's not on here. All I can do is this.
Reboot.
No. I'll just bring it up because I have it right in here. Is this it? Yep, time lapse right here.
If he was doing his job, I wouldn't even be doing this. I'd be at some beautiful
Time lapse.
You sent me this.
Did I? Because it's not on my thing anymore. They must have fucking taken it down.
someone's
It's a
on
good
top
thing
of the
I saved
roof.
this shit.
There he is right there. Right there, see him? He's laying
they're
down. See him?
identifying.
Yeah, he's laying down.
And son, I'm here with you fighting like hell to get a senator
What's happening?
elected and to make sure we take back the White House, because if we do, we're going to make America better than ever before. We're going to make it.
Yeah, look.
And it's
There he
not
is.
easy, because we have millions and millions of people in our country that shouldn't be here.
Here's somebody in the back row,
Dangerous
officer.
people.
Yeah.
Criminals. We have criminals.
I think that was like what, 37, 38 seconds when he said that.
We have people that should not be here. And it's much tougher than if
And just that one kid that was like, oh, all the cops are like, oh.
in recorded
what?
history, we're the best border. In fact, if they could ever put up a chart, I don't know if they can do it. Do you guys have access to
Like,
that
whoever
chart
put
that I
this
love so
together
much?
And like
You don't mind if I go
put
off
the videos together
teleprompter,
in
do you?
sequential order, like fantastic.
Because these
job. 'Cause
teleprompters
it really
are so
puts in
damn boring. I
perspective
try and
how
explain
fucking
that.
long. At the very
Oh,
least,
there's a-
when they
wow.
identify, when the people
You
identify
guys are
them,
doing
how
it.
long
They're
they
getting
have.
better with time. My guys, take a look at that chart. Take a look at the arrow on the bottom. See the big red arrow, right? So that's when I left office. That was the lowest point, and that comes right from the government services, comes right out of Border Patrol. Take a look at that. So that arrow is the lowest amount of illegal immigration ever in recorded history into our country. And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that says,
That right there was the timeline, and there's a timer at the bottom of the video, as you can see, 2 minutes, 2 seconds, and 88 milliseconds. Unbelievable, and that's the word that I keep using, honestly. It's totally genuine in my reaction. I just keep thinking in my head, unbelievable. And a lot of the times people will say that, but of course it's a little bit exaggerated. Oh, it's totally unbelievable. But in this case, it's quite literal. I am struggling to believe it. Secret Service had a full 2 minutes 2 minutes of people pointing at the roof, hailing police officers and saying, hey, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. 2 minutes of that, and no action was taken. What the F? They had plenty of time to eliminate the threat. How do you explain the inaction? And really, that's not the most confusing part, because they didn't even have to eliminate the threat per se. They had to get Donald Trump off that stage. They had 2 minutes. I'm assuming they're all on radio comms. Everybody's got a little earpiece in their ear. You're telling me you've got tons of people on the ground flagging police officers saying there's someone on the roof with a rifle, and not a single person said on those communications, hey, serious threat, code red, take the president off the stage? Unfrickin' believable. This is...
Yeah. But 2 minutes. And to boot, the sniper, or the police sniper that actually took the guy out, he had him, and I think we talked about this last week, he had him lined up.
Yeah.
He was in his sight. He could see him before he made the shot. And evidently, his superior never cleared him to take the shot, and he did it on his own volition. And then, evidently, he got fired after. Like, how the fuck? How, what? Not like hey, you know what? Good job for taking the guy down. You know, he attempted to assassinate former President Trump. He killed a fire chief who's protecting his daughter and his wife, and he hit 2 other people. But good job at taking him down. It's like, hey, go fuck yourself.
Did you hear about that guy, Destiny, that streamer?
Fuck that guy. I know Destiny. He's been on Tim Pool, and I used to be like, you know what? He's articulate, and I heavily disagree with pretty much everything he says, but at least he's willing to go on Tim Pool and push back, and they can have a discussion / argument. But after those comments, go fuck yourself. Like, unfucking believable. And the whole thing was just unbelievable. One, he just scoffed at the fire chief that got hit or killed.
Yeah.
He scoffed at that. And then he made a comment. He's like, listen, if you're a conservative fan of mine and you go to one of these Trump rallies and you get killed or whatever, I'm going to make fun of you too. I'm like, okay. Like, that's real nice. Great way, great thing to tell your fan base. Like, that's fucking fantastic.
This is like the celebrity world, the infamous, the fame, we'll call it the famous world, the celebrity world.
They're too comfortable.
You hear about Tenacious D?
Yeah, I sent it to you.
I'd heard about it before, yeah.
Yeah. Tenacious. Well, first everyone thought it was Jack Black, including me. I'm like, fuck Jack Black. Only because I think me and everybody else, when they first heard about it, they saw, he went to the whole Biden thing. He's like, my president needs me, and did that whole spiel.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't agree with you, but it's Tenacious D. They're funny, And then that came out, the happy birthday to Kyle Gass. And it turns out it was Kyle Gass who said it. And then they evidently had a squabble on stage, and they went back and forth, and Kyle Gass Jack Black went back to the microphone after their back and forth. He said, all right, we're going to start up again. Everything's fine. And then Kyle Gass went to the microphone. I don't know if you saw this or not. Kyle Gass goes to the microphone and he goes, I quit. And then he just walked off the stage like this.
I didn't see that. I got to see that.
So that happened. And then shortly after that, Jack Black makes a post on X and said, we're the tour's canceled, and any future creative or short term or whatever creative that we're planning is put on hold indefinitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so once that happened, I'm like, okay. So Jack Black isn't like, he's not on my go fuck yourself list like Destiny. But Kyle Gass sure is.
Well, this must have been on another night then.
What? What do you mean?
I'm looking at the video. This is a video of Jack Black and...
Let me see. No, that's
now
not,
he's just walking off stage.
That's not the video. Maybe it's a bit. But yeah, so, and then right off the right off the bats, right off the bat, Pete Gas ended up making a statement or an apology statement post or whatever. He said, "Oh, it was in bad taste." Blah blah blah.
Kyle Gas.
Yeah. I keep Pete Gas is part of the Mean Street Posse in fucking wrestling 20 years ago, but so yeah, he made that post.
It was in poor taste, you know.
Yeah. But the reason I think they say, "Oh, we're gonna pause or we're canceling the tour and everything," that's because the insurance company that they had for these venues, because you have to have insurance to go to these venues, dropped them. And without insurance, you can't play shows.
Yeah.
So all these venues dropped them because they didn't have insurance, because their insurance company dropped them. So instead of telling them that, like, oh, the insurance fucking kicked us to the curb, they're like, oh, we're just going to put everything on, we're canceling the tour and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Everyone seems to think that Jack Black is just doing this because he doesn't want to lose money. Like, he's a Hollywood and whatever. Yeah. Just your typical Hollywood socialite. But yeah, so the whole thing with Jack Black and
don't miss Trump again. Wow, that joke or no joke? That
yeah, and it was only a couple days after or some shit like that. Like,
that's a ballsy joke. I mean, I've made some jokes. Oh God, I've made some jokes.
But what did you think was going to happen? Now, if this was, I mean, I'm not making an excuse for it, but if you are a progressive leftist, and you make that joke, if it's like within a day after this happened, you probably in your mind think, right now, at least in that sphere, the thing right now is the progressive left, because the last few years that's what it's been.
Yeah.
The progressive left has been the at least vocal minority, has talked so much that you think that's the normal thing. Clearly it's not, because in the last really year especially, the other direction has been like, no, this isn't, like parents and just normal folk has been like, this isn't the normal thing. And it's not. A lot of the shit is fucking not. So, but in their little sphere,
I'm fucking way off camera, sorry. I'm back here doing this. It's like, oh,
no, you're still on camera. In their sphere, everything is still normal. So you make those jokes, you're like, oh yeah, this is what's acceptable. This is what is right. This is what like will get me clout and I'll be popular, more popular. But then what happened is not that. What happened is the whole world went, what the fuck? What are you fucking saying? Like, what? That's insane. And now outside of that, what you said was just like, oh yeah, there was an assassination attempt on a former sitting president, and you're condoning it. Outside of your sphere of influence, common knowledge would be like, poor taste. But again, Hollywood is so comfortable, and they think that they're so quick, like sheep, to run to the fucking trough, or like, this is what everyone wants. This is what everyone wants. And they just go and suck on the nipple of fucking money. They're like, I'm going to do this. Nipple. Notice how he's sitting right now.
Suck it.
Yeah.
Mamala.
Mamala.
No, you see, whether you're in the circle or not, especially nowadays with the way it's been going, there's nowhere that's safe. It doesn't matter if you're in a padded room with 20 of your biggest supporters. All it takes is one whisper of what you might have said, and the fucking world's over.
Career-wise, you mean?
Oh, just in any situation like this.
Right.
I mean, Tenacious D, they've always been a very entertaining band.
They have been, yeah. And they were like The Pick of Destiny. The movie was funny. Yeah. It was good. It was just regular comedy. It didn't really poke like any direction or anything. It wasn't, but
deactivated lasers with my dick. Now we've got to blow this fucker down.
But that's what like this weird acceptable thing is.
Nah.
But I don't know. So
I mean, we jest and we make jokes. I mean, for God's sakes, like I said, we've made some. I know I've made some very pushing the edge jokes on this Show of ours? Yours? Ours? Mine? Yeah, sounds about right.
It's all of ours.
Because we all just need a hug. But still, even for God's fucking sakes, dude, it's been 23 years since 9/11, and I think we've maybe cracked one joke in the year or two, last year or two.
Have we?
I don't think so.
I don't really think 9/11's like, oh, it's an off-limit thing. Nobody does. Just like contextually. I mean, maybe, but
Well,
oh, you're so blind you can't fly. Like, what fucking joke? I don't, what joke can come out of that? I don't know.
I don't know what joke can come out of 9/11.
One of those
I know
like
what
jokes
came
would be
out-
like everyone's like, okay, anyway, like, it's just one of those things.
I remember seeing a meme, speaking of 9/11. It's probably within the last year. It goes, when your kid's not... the kid, it was on TikTok, and it was when your kid's having a hard time eating. When you have twins... when you have twins and neither of them want to eat. And it shows a mom with a spoon, and there's high chairs, and superimposed the Twin Towers, and the caption over the mom is, "Here comes the airplane."
Oh, jeez.
I was like, wow. But no, all jokes aside, even if it was an attempt on Biden, I still don't condone it. And you're not going to hear me make a joke fucking next day after.
So, talking about Hollywood and, comfortable in Hollywood, things they say. Last week, I made the comment, I was like, oh, I can't wait for these people to, like, make comments, see what they're going to say.
Who were the four? Biden already did.
Yeah,
Pelosi. Hold on. One of them was Pelosi.
And really, I said, like, a couple members, but really fucking anyone from the panel.
I'm just trying to... Oh, The View.
Yeah.
Okay. And that Hussein... What was the... Sisson?
Yeah, Sisson was another one, but Sisson kind of disappointed because he pretty much did Sisson doesn't really give a shit so much about Trump as he does, like, just sucking the tit of fucking Biden. So, yeah. I haven't heard anything of him saying, like, now Biden's got COVID, now he's going to step down. But The View and MSNBC, Joy Reid from MSNBC.
Yeah.
You know who that is? All right. They didn't fucking disappoint. They didn't disappoint at all. So, one, I got a couple things here.
Was there a Karen on the panel?
There's always a Karen on the panel. You know it.
Whoopee! I don't know if that was good.
Into fellow Christians. I was raised Catholic. I'm a Christian girl. When something like this happens to you, like this assassination attempt, and you say something like God was watching me, that is a very unchristian thing to say because it's very narcissistic. What about Corey? What's his name? Corey, the fireman who also got killed. I think it's unchristian. What about all those guys who got killed on Sandy Hook? All of those people. Yeah. It's God was watching me and not watching them. There's something very disturbing. God should have pulled the plug on that mic yesterday. Wait, God is the technician now? He'll be right back. You needed one.
They just cut to commercial.
It's a turn of phrase.
Yeah.
For fuck's sakes, you know how many people have had near-death experiences and said, wow, God was watching over me.
Right.
Oh my fucking God, Joy Behar.
Here's another one.
Donald Trump's assassination attempt to praise Joe Biden instead of sending support to Donald Trump. Let's get into it.
I think we all agree with Biden, right? And I'm very happy for President Biden. I'm very happy that he's taking the opportunity to be on air now 3 times, asking us to call on our better angels, asking us to unite, asking us to tamp down the rhetoric. I'm going to try to heed his words.
Out of political violence, I recognize that. And I think the fact that President Biden Biden came out and did exactly what he should. First of all, he referenced he had spoken with the former president. He referenced the victims of this, and then he had a very unifying message about we are all the same in recognizing that political violence has no place in this country.
I think Biden's Oval Office address should be a guide to all of us. I think he, and I'm going to follow his lead. And when he
You mean
said
suck his
there
dick,
should
sorry.
be no place for political violence in this country, I think he is absolutely right. But when you look at the stats, political violence has reached new heights in this country.
Tell me the viewers not losing their damn mind. This guy was almost killed. Someone was actually killed. And your initial response to that is praising Joe Biden because he had a speech addressing the nation about the same incident that you're supposed to be talking about, the assassination attempt and the person.
What this sounds like to me is, you did a good job, Joe. You answered every question. And then, meanwhile, in the background, Joe.
Do I get a gold star?
He doesn't. No, you're looking around.
Allegedly.
You're looking around too much. You know, someone noticed. Kind of a side note, in regards to Joe Biden, during the debate, and I didn't know this is a thing until it was brought up. He almost never blinks when he talks, which evidently is a symptom of Parkinson's disease. And granted, after, I think it was right after the debate, there was a doctor that was visiting the White House, visiting Joe Biden, who is specifically a specialist in Parkinson's disease. So now that's the thing going around, is does he have Parkinson's disease? Because he has some of the symptoms, like the hands that are constantly in one, stiff thing, not blinking when he's talking and everything.
That's cheap fake. That's all fake.
You're right. I'm stupid.
Losing their life.
So there's.
I just want to praise Joe for addressing the nation. Wait, you didn't even say anything that time. I know.
Here,
Joe finished.
Here is the one though that, and I say, this is probably the one that tops it, and it came from Joy Reid, and I'm sure a lot of you have already fucking seen it, but I'm gonna play it because it's fun, and I don't know, I think I might have sent it to you, maybe I didn't, I don't know, but this one was special. I'm like, how the fuck do you even get anywhere near this? But here we are.
The video is no longer available.
No, it's because
Donald Trump is an elderly.
Okay, here we go.
Here's the question that I have on that. These two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. Weird situation. We'll figure that out one day. But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies, isn't that exactly the same?
It's not exactly the same. It's not the same incident, but it's an elderly man.
It was so hard for me to not pause that.
Trump survived an assassination attempt. Yeah, well, Biden's strongest. He survived COVID.
Yes, I mean the glaring obvious thing is that I was like, isn't that the same? Like, no, Joy, it's not the same. No, Joy, you can't pet the buffalo. It's not the fucking same thing. It's
no, Joy, you can't put your fucking hand in the snake habitat.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. What she says, Donald Trump was allowed, he's given 9 seconds to raise his hand to the crowd during an active shooter situation. It wasn't an active shooter situation when he did. Why? Because very audibly, the Secret Service said, shooter is down. Shooter's down.
At that point, he had spread all of his ideas across the roof.
His knowledge was
spread thin.
No. His knowledge was open for everyone to see. We'll just put it that way. They said
he did a reverse painting of Kurt Cobain.
Yeah,
Kurt Cobain painted the ceiling.
The Secret Service said shoot her down.
See the jokes?
Jeez. So it wasn't. But anyway, the glaring issue is, he survived an assassination attempt. Joe Biden surviving a glorified cold. Isn't that the same thing? Because he is older. Now it's like, well, they're going to paint the picture as, oh, he is older than Trump by a few years. Suddenly that's the thing now. It's like, well, he is older and he's got COVID again. It's like the 8th variant, so it's probably the same as like fucking a bad case of allergies at this point.
It's a sinus infection.
Yes. No, that's too much.
Oh, you're right.
It's allergies.
It's a sniffle.
There you go.
When like you're
dandelions.
No, like when you walk into like Buffalo Wild Wings and you smell the hot sauce in the wings.
Yeah, and you're like,
your nose. Oh, my nose is starting to run all of a sudden.
Yeah, Hunter Biden. Joe knows. Anyway.
No, Joe knows does not know what Hunter Biden knows.
The nose knows.
And Hunter Biden knows more than you knows.
That's right.
It's almost like, did he do it?
Did he do it? Did he do it?
Did he do it? Do you believe did he did it? Or do you believe that he didn't do it? I didn't stutter that. I'm fucking impressed.
Diddy did it, for sure. 100%. Diddy's the new Epstein did.
So you're telling me we're going to find Diddy unalived on his own accord with his arms severed and still was able to get himself up a 20-foot tree with a rope around his neck?
It's 20 feet away. How is it even... Where's those tracks
His arms are there and there, but he's hanging from the top of the gymnasium.
Seriously.
He hung himself.
No.
Oh, look. His last phone call. BFF.
Oh,
He'll see.
Last thing on the assassination fallout. So Cheeto.
Good game.
Right? Well, that's like 2 different games.
Cheeto.
Anyway. What she said during I guess she's testifying Monday about the whole thing. The head of the or the director of the Secret Service.
Oh, yeah.
Kim Cheadle, she said that it was an oversight and the buck stops with her and it'll never happen again. Like, just that response.
Don't look over here. Everything over here is a problem.
No, it's not that. It's that response is like, that response to what happened is like treating what happened as if she gave too many or not enough scoops of ice cream in someone's fucking ice cream order. Like, oh, I'm sorry, it'll never happen again. Like, it was just like, oh, the buck stops with me, it'll never happen again, moving on.
You forgot pickles on my burger. Okay, we'll never happen again.
What the fuck? Just like nonchalant, like, what? So, everything happened last weekend, right before the RNC. And like I said last week, it's like, this you couldn't have wrote that up any better. So the RNC happens this week, and all these different people go, and there's all
Amber Rose surprised me,
and she gave. I mean, it was short. It was only like 5 minutes. Most of them are like 5, 6, 7 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
But people like that, just being like, I once thought this way, and then I did my research, and no, I guess every Republican or conservative aren't racist. Oh shit. Go figure. It's almost like America's not a racist.
And she's cute.
Yeah, she's like, what, 40? I think she's like 40, something like that.
She's a...
That crazy ass cursive tattoo. I don't know what it says, but it says like Amy. But I think she's like...
Don't get it in my hair.
She does or did or something. OnlyFans or I don't know what she
did. She?
I don't know. Some...
For science.
Like, I don't fucking know who she is up until, like, she came out and she's talking. And she did the whole thing, like, my dad's like, Trump's not racist. Well, I'm going to prove you wrong. And then she goes and looks up Trump shit and be like, oh, well, I guess I was wrong. Why? Because the mainstream media has painted Trump and all his supporters to be this. And they're like, well, I guess not. Even Trump said, like, the whole MAGA movement, during his speech, it's like an hour and a half long speech at the RNC. Trump's the one that goes, they're trying to fight MAGA, but he's like, how do you fight MAGA? It's make America great again. You can't fight that. And they're like, oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Did you find it?
I'm looking
Oh, of course you are.
for science.
Did you put it on incognito or whatever?
Yeah,
It's for the government.
Okay.
But then, yeah, like I said, Amber Rose is there, and that was wild. Linda McMahon and her Hillary Clinton comments and everything, and then Hulk Hogan was there, and did the whole Hogan spiel. And it's funny, one of the comments I saw in one of the Hogan videos is like, "Oh wow, look at that! Hogan actually put somebody over the first time in his entire career." Trump's speech, which is a good one. His speech was powerful. There's a few moments in it that were like, wow, that's going to be a definite clip. Is he made a comment during his speech. He's like, I shouldn't be here right now. And the whole crowd
some
just...
topless videos, some twerking videos, some stripper footage from when she was a dancer.
Right.
Don't know how she became famous.
There was... The whole crowd just starts chanting, yes, you are. When he says, like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here right now. And the whole crowd just starts chanting, yes, you are. Like, that was powerful. Him talking about his granddaughters.
Yep.
The whole... And I think that was Tuesday or Wednesday when he first went out there and was talking a little bit before his main speech last night. But the RNC was kind of... In years past, it's not like super entertaining the way it is. But even Tucker Carlson, he goes out on stage, he said, I was expecting an atmosphere, and he goes, I have to say, like, this has actually kind of been a blast, like an actual event. Like, you go and like, Jesus, like, just fun, like laid back and lighthearted and fun. And it's a political event. Go fucking figure. It's almost like politics is pop culture now.
AOC.
I can't wait to see the
AOC?
the DNC. I think that's next month. I think the Democratic National Convention. That's gonna be fun to watch. That's gonna be fun because I'm like, how are they gonna fucking?
This is our fight song. Take back our life. When Hillary Clinton lost.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton lost.
Yeah. But one thing, like I said earlier, one thing that was kind of incredible was the fact that Trump didn't inflame anything. Like, there was no comments said to, like, really, he was super humble, but he was still like, this is what we're doing, and just straightforward, but humbled. And it was something else to watch. I was like, wow. But here's something too, and this is kind of me a thumb in the back. You notice something that didn't fucking happen after this? Anywhere?
Riots.
There were no fucking riots.
There was no Summer of Love. Comeback tour.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're just hiding it. No, they're not. Because the fucking media would just blow that shit up.
Oh my God.
Remember, what was it May 29th of 2020 when progressives firebombed the church next to the White House, burned that down, and forced Trump into a bunker, and then the mainstream media just made fun of Trump for going into a bunker, calling him bunker boy and shit like that, right before the Summer of Love, air quotes. That was never brought up, still isn't ever brought up. What about these people that firebombed they were in DC and protesting all this shit? Never hear anything about that. Never. But there were no riots. Isn't that fucking incredible? But of course they'll bring up, it's like, well, geez, there was attempted assassination. You know, he was registered Republican, although he did donate to Act Blue. Just fucking dim. But hey, and there were videos that came out of him screaming about how he hated Donald Trump and the Republican Party. Cheap fakes, I'm sure.
Well, so here's the thing. And let me ask you a question, because I wasn't sure. The guy was talking about, I'm like, I don't think that's right.
What?
Swing vote. What's the swing vote?
As far as?
What does it say to you? In regards to an election, a presidential election.
A swing vote? You mean like the swing states?
Yeah.
The purple states. It'd go either way. Pennsylvania was. I don't think it is now.
So, an older gentleman I had overheard, especially after the assassination, was talking about how, he was registered as Republican.
Right.
And he had maybe merit's not the right word. There was some, that does kind of make you wonder.
That's merit. That's like, oh, okay.
Okay, merit. So there were some things he was saying that had some merit, and then he was talking about the swing vote, and I'm like, I don't know. That doesn't sound right.
Right.
So Crooks was registered as a Republican to vote.
Right.
He was a registered Republican.
Right.
Who voted Democratic.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about how when so many Republicans,
Full stop. I still think that he registered Republican just to vote in the Republican primary, just to vote
to try to get Trump off. Yeah,
that's a tactic. But go ahead.
But he was talking about when somebody who is registered for one party votes for another, it's considered a swing vote.
Yeah.
Which is what
independence is a big one.
Which is where you get those the swing states, where now, even though it's purple or it could be all voted, because it's, how do you explain it? Because let's say out of 100%, 70% are registered Republicans.
Right.
30% are registered Democrats.
Right.
Let's say 40% of that 70% vote Democratic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that means there's 70% of the vote going to a Democratic nomination, person. It's a swing vote now.
Right.
So people will do that to help get the certain states, the swing states, more, because they have more electoral votes or something like that.
You won't see that, though. You won't see that. Oh, go ahead.
But he was saying this is what this kid said. This is one of the he was talking about the shady shit the left has pulled over the years. So this is the shady shit right here. This is what will happen. This is what they do. And he started talking about that tactic. And I was like,
yeah, but how does that tactic? Because Pennsylvania was, I don't think it is now, but it was in recent history a swing state. It's been a purple state.
Which means it has more Republican voters? Or
it could go either way.
But how many people are registered for each party? Does it tell you that?
Yeah, you could probably look it up.
So let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Let's say New York became a swing state. Even though we know there's 20 million people living in New York?
It's a D plus 23 state. Although they are saying right now it has the potential of being a +9 swing in the Democrat or the Republican direction, which would still make it a strong Democratic state, but that amount of Republican voters in the presidential election would be a huge boost for Donald Trump for the popular vote.
Yeah. What I was getting at was the merit he had in regards to what he was talking about was that does seem like a shady tact to kind of throw shade on the Republicans or the Democrats. If you're a Republican, if you're a registered Republican but you're voting Democrat, it means as a Republican voter you don't have faith in your own party. Or vice versa. If you're a Democratic registered voter but you vote Republican, it shows the numbers tell people, okay, more Democrats are voting for Republicans now. What's going on? It makes the Democrats look bad when their own people are voting for Republicans, or it makes the Republicans look bad when their own people are voting for the Democrats.
Right. Oh, of course it does.
So there was definitely that's what he was talking. That's the bit he was talking about with the merit.
Yeah, that wouldn't do. All right, so doing that wouldn't do anything as far as elections go. But what that would do, like you said, that would just be more a look. Yeah. It'd be like, oh, geez, look at all these Republicans that are voting Dem or Dems that are voting Repub. That's all that would really do. Because at the end of the day, if you are, that tactic is used in locals and the primary for who's going to be nominated for whatever. But if you use that tactic in the presidential election, you're throwing your vote away.
Yeah,
that would be pointless. So that would be more just a look on the smaller elections, which are arguably the more important ones. But that would be I'm going to vote this way because then it looks like, oh, look, a Republican's voting Democrat, so the Republican must not be throwing up a good candidate. So, but again, like I don't think that might be a tactic, but I don't think it would have enough push to actually make a huge difference. I'm on Pennsylvania's Commonwealth website, but there's so many freaking.
Oh, I'm just looking how many states have. What each state has how many electoral votes.
Oh.
And how is that determined?
Population. Population determines it. I think it's one for each district in a state. There's a representative. I think New York. How many fucking representatives in New York?
28.
28, yeah. And each representative
Texas
is like
40 is beyond me because don't more people live in New York than they do Texas?
No. Oh, Texas?
Yeah, Texas has.
I don't think so. No, I think New York is like the third or fourth or fifth highest populated state, or third or fourth. I mean, each representative, on average, represents like 700,000
Texas
people.
Wow, yeah. I was close to New York's number.
What's New York?
19.5.
19 million?
I said 25. I said 20. California has 38.9. Texas has 30.5. Florida has 22.6. New York 19.5. Pennsylvania 12.9.
And that's why Pennsylvania is an important swing state, because there's a lot of people there. It's a lot of electoral votes. Virginia was a blue state, and I think now it's become at least a purple state, last I knew. Have you heard...
Have we done that before?
What?
Hold on a second. Can you do me a favor? Can you get your calculator out?
Sure. All right.
We're just going to do basic numbers.
Basic numbers.
584 plus 647 equals... Keep doing that until I hit 30 million. So, all right, let's start back over. Sorry.
584 plus 647.
Clear it all over. 584,000.
Oh.
Once we hit 30 mil, stop. Okay? So, 584,000.
Right.
647,000. 733,000. 783,000.
Right, 733, right?
783,000. 919,000. 1,030,000. 1,095,000. 1,133,000. 1,395,000. 1.4 mil. 1.43 mil. Are we still not at fucking 30 million?
Mm-mm.
Are we even halfway there?
We are at 23 million.
Oh my god. So what did I say the last one was? 145? 143?
Is it 1.43 million?
Yep.
Okay. No, actually, yeah, I added an extra zero by accident. It's actually, we're at 10 million. 10.4.
1.77 mil.
All right, 12.
Fuck this. You realize California has more than half the country combined?
Probably, I wouldn't doubt it.
38.9. Yeah.
You could have just Googled it as like comparison. Anyway, we're like going way off track here.
Sorry.
I was like, what are we doing?
Fucking Christ.
What I was going to say.
It's not even the biggest state.
What I was going to say is.
Sorry.
Did you hear, going back to like last Saturday, the DEI thing? The short Secret Service woman trying to holster her gun after. She was like 5'6". Trump's 6'1". And everyone's like, that's got to be a DEI hire. She's
DEI?
Yeah.
Diversity,
equity, inclusion.
Oh my god!
Like that's because she was up there you could hear her go. You could hear her go. What are we doing? As soon as she got on stage, I will say this: allegedly, she wasn't supposed to be part of the stage crew. She was originally just down crowd control, and then everything happened, and she went up on stage. But I tell you, it's a bad fucking look. She's Secret Service. Highly trained, right? Regardless of what, you're fucking have some kind of competence because you're right there with the ex-president. You're up on stage. What are we doing? Shit going on. She's this short. Trump's this tall. She tries to holster her gun. She's doing this. Can't do it. Looks down. Holds it. Goes back to holstering it. Finally gets it in. It looks like an actor. Like an actress in Hollywood. That's like, oh shit, what am I supposed to do? Like, it's just the whole look. It's just bizarre.
It's Alec Baldwin all over again. I didn't know the gun was loaded.
Oh my god, wasn't he like cleared of everything? I'm pretty sure he was cleared of everything.
I don't know, to be honest with you.
I can't remember. That was like fucking 2 years ago.
I kind of lost interest with it because at the end of the day, I haven't heard.
No, I haven't either. But I also don't care.
Of him doing, no. Of anything other than him saying, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and in Alec Baldwin's head, that's like, he basically just paid $1 million to the family or whatever. Because Alec Baldwin is Alec Baldwin. And evidently he's an asshole, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so the DEI hire. oh, and now that we're back on this topic, when the shooter was up on the roof, evidently 2 local police went up there after everyone was talking. They're like, "Hey, he's up there on the roof." 2 police officers go up on the roof. One like hoist one up to look over, and the shooter turned, pointed the gun at them, and they backed off and went to do whatever the fuck. So this is before everything happened. He was identified. They did try to approach, and he scared him away by pointing the gun at him. That's just another one of those things. You're like, what? How? What the fuck? But anyway.
God. I really hope that's not true.
More things to fall out. Elon Musk donating $45 million a month to go toward Trump super PACs for detail. Here's another thing that came about where I was, another one where you're like, what the fuck? Come on. Another coincidence. DJT, Trump Media, the stock. Trump media backers think they've uncovered a short selling scheme tied to the assassination plot. So investors of Trump Media, DJT, believe that they can prove who had inside knowledge of the assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump. But most of their claims are based on misreading a document filed last week with the Security and Exchange Commission. DJT investors and short sellers waged an intense battle after the stock went live on NASDAQ, with accusations Trump haters want to use the stock to sink the president. The claim that people have heavily shorted DJT before the Trump assassination floated around X. Posters claim that trade placed shorts on Friday, June 12th, the day before the attempt. Now, shorting a stock is not uncommon. Like, Bill Gates is shorting X right now, or Tesla. I think it's Tesla. I don't know if I don't know if you're in stocks. Layman's terms, a short is this. You have, say you got a soda. It's worth $10. Okay, stupid or $1. Stupid money. Okay, soda's worth $1. I have it, and I let you borrow it. Or you have it, you let me borrow it. So now I have this dollar soda. I'm betting that it's going to drop in price. So I hold it and I borrow it hoping the price would drop. Price drops to 10 cents. And then while it's at $1, I sell it off. Price drops 10 cents, and now I buy it back and then give it back to you, pocketing the 90 cents. All right, that's shorting a stock. Evidently, this company, this LLC, let me see what the name of the company is. Short. What's the name of the company? Can't find the name of the company. Texas-based investment firm. Okay, yeah.
Excuse me.
The firm shorted. Okay, yeah. The firm shorted 12 million shares of DJT, which is like a record amount by one firm shorting at one time. The day before, Fintel.io, which reported that the firm filed an SEC document on July 12th, closing 12 million puts on DJT. Puts are essentially bets placed on a stock on the expectation that the price will go down. Now, if Trump had been assassinated, that stock would have been basically worthless. It would have just been plummeted to nothing. So this firm buys borrows this stock essentially, hoping that it drops, and then they can sell it back, pocketing all the money that they borrowed, basically, and then didn't have to pay back. He survives. And this is the same thing that happened with GameStop. A few years ago when the whole GameStop thing blew off, it was a bunch of these firms, or these whales, they call them, that buy up a bunch of stock and then hold it. Well, if a whole bunch of small timers buy a bunch of stock and hold it, that price doesn't drop. So now all these firms or whoever are holding all this stock, and they're losing a shit ton of money, because when you borrow the stock or short it, you can only hold it for so long before you have to give it back, like a month or so. So now they have all the stock and they're losing a shit ton of money. That's what happened with GameStop. So now it's going to be interesting to see what happens with DJT, because the stock didn't go down. It fucking skyrocketed the next day. But there's another one where, like, is this just a wild coincidence that this one firm shorted a shit ton of DJT, or is it another one? Yeah,
or is planning on being able to make the money back somehow without anybody knowing that they have
make buco bucks back? Oh yeah, because it went up to like $36 a share, some shit like that. Like, I have stock in it, and I'm like, after that, and I didn't even think about the stock until I saw this. I'm like, oh yeah, what? And I looked, I'm like, oh shit, nice. Jesus. But yeah, it skyrocketed after. So that was another one where it's like, well, is this just a coincidence, or
winky dink?
Yeah. And then, like, all the people, this was all thrown on. There's all the people on social media, left wing, that went, oh, too bad he missed, and all these crazy posts, wild fucking posts in support of the shooter, and they're all losing their jobs and get suspended now and all this crazy shit.
Yes,
and
you sent me that video.
Yeah, a lot of them. And there's been so many videos of just different people, including Destiny being one, like being a bigger name one. He got canned from, what the hell, not LinkedIn, but one, like, I can't remember what fucking website, but they fucking banned his account on that.
Good.
Yeah, and was it YouTube? I think YouTube or Twitch or something. No, it was YouTube. X, Elon, demonetized his channel.
No making money now.
Yeah, so you can post all you want, but you're not making money. So they demonetized him there. Rightfully so. Like, that's a crazy shit. But again, that's the difference between the left and right in this whole thing. Just as a general statement, is the left is like, oh, too bad he missed, and the right, well, we don't call for violence. Like, not the way that happens. We make crazy, like, stupid jokes and shit, but
we'll get another Bush in there, and he'll say a bunch of crazy things, too.
We've had that for the last 4 years. The difference is at least Bush was drilling for oil and shit. And
you can make out what he was saying coherently.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you could kind of work your way through that labyrinth, but at least you get there. Like, Biden's labyrinth is like you enter, and it's just one fucking solid wall. You're like, where do I go? And you're like,
you can go left, or you can go right.
Yeah.
No, don't go that way.
Never go that way. If she would have kept going that way, it would have led us straight to the castle.
Come inside.
And I bet you that
the missus.
I bet you that is what plays in Biden's mind every time he fucking enters stage. That's why he's
Ludo want down.
That's
Joe Biden poop pants. Allegedly.
Yeah. And then it's a wild week in news when one of the small news stories is Trump's document case got thrown out.
Oh yeah.
It's a small, because that's been like at the top of the fucking charts for months now. And then all this happens and you're like, oh yeah, by the way, even Trump was like, oh yeah, well, that document thing got thrown out. Anyway. Which was, okay, it's now if we could just get to the other cases, be like, especially the one where, listen, if you just find him guilty for something
the one where they didn't have a criminal charge.
Yeah, they just passed statute limitations, just made up fucking rules. Just find him guilty in something, pick one, and we'll just make it like continuation of or furtherance of another crime, and we don't know what the other crime is, just pick one. Hopefully they'll get to that eventually, because that whole thing is, if they threw out the document case, objectively, they just have to throw that case out, because that one specifically drives me fucking nuts. I'm like, no, you chase so many fucking rules, just it just makes me nuts. Makes me fucking nuts. Like I was saying at the beginning, just to tie this all in. If this isn't like an inside job or anything like that, Elon, Rogan, they're all right. We are in a simulation.
Oh, God.
And it's just getting fucking wilder and wilder and wilder.
Whoever's doing my coding, could you give me like a bigger wiener or something? Like, hook the father up.
You get an Oscar Mayer. Aw, man.
Huge.
Kind of hungry.
Yes, they did make it bigger. Wait, what?
What are they doing? What's he doing in there?
It just keeps growing back.
That's your superpower. That would be your lame superpower? Like Meg's fingernails growing?
Oh, God.
What would your lame superpower be?
I want to teleport. I know it's not a lame superpower, but I still want Nightcrawler's ability.
Here's the thing. All right, I'll make your side rule. You're going to teleport, but every time you teleport, your body parts end up in a different spot.
I got one for you.
Like one hand here. Oh.
I got one for you. Let's say you could have any superpower in the world. What would it be?
Molecular.
Hold on.
Okay.
Before you answer,
all right.
Know this. Every time you use it, you ejaculate like an LDH getting opened up full blast.
Molecular control. And I'll tell you
Can't
why.
Control that?
No, I'll tell you why. I can't control what happens.
Thanks, that looks like your fucking fire truck going blank.
But I can control what comes out. So, because I have molecular control, I could change what it is. It would be
gold coins. Ow. Ow.
But I have molecular control, so I can increase this. Just for the time being. And I could, like, it's just a bunch of mini versions of me.
Fucking. The episode.
Bender? Yeah. Bender.
No, that was the whale episode.
Yeah.
The episode I was referring to was when he makes the copies of himself. And they keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah, I think mine would still be good. Yours would be funny just to see, because and you come out and your legs are down here and your arms are up here.
Teleport? No.
Or the other way around.
The ejaculate.
Next time you come out, your head's right here.
If I had to ejaculate let's say a 5-gallon bucket every time I used it.
Yeah, wait. How long is that LDH on? Is it like oh, you turn it on to
30 seconds.
Okay. Jeez, that's a lot.
I would everywhere I go, I'd make sure I teleport to a bathroom. What happened
For anyone
here?
that doesn't know, LDH is large diameter hose. You know, a large diameter hose, fire hose.
It's about that big.
5 inch. It's 5 inch.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fucking water. You know what? I would have boxes of ammunition come out and then sell them at a discount price. Yes! Always thinking ahead.
James?
No pun.
I need about 5 million rounds of 9mm.
Hold on. I gotta use my power. Actually, it would become an infinite loop, because every time I use my power, I would have to use my power again. And then, in order to use my power again, I'd have to use my power.
You can only ever use it once, and you'd never stop until the day you die.
I'd be like, what's it going to be this time? Let's find out. Until at the very end, I'd be like, okay, I have to let it do its thing. That poor soul at the other end of that. Because large diameter hose, if it's full bore, wide open, what the fuck are we talking about?
Wacky inflatable crazy arm guy. Wacky crazy inflatable arm guy.
To say the least, bye.
And that, folks, is a fit.
Yes.
Making my way downtown, I'm a seagull, walking fast. Go fuck yourself.
No, yeah, wait. Started putting, got Hatchet, Victor Crowley.
Nice.
I came in. Full Moon, the Shrieker.
Oh, yeah.
I came in.
I'm surprised you don't have the demo Gorgon yet. Stranger Things, did you watch that?
Yeah, it's alright.
You got room.
I got room. I just not really one of the top favorite anything.
Okay.
Like Stranger Things is fine. I think more people like it
Nostalgic.
because it's nostalgic.
Yes.
In the 80s. Like as far as the show goes, it's fine. That's about it.
Yeah.
I felt the same way with actually no. Stranger Things in my eyes is better, and maybe that's just because of the nostalgia. But Game of Thrones. I got one episode in. It's like, this is fucking stupid.
Oh, dude, it starts so slow.
Either way, I don't have the time to sit for fucking 3 weeks and be like, oh no, it gets good at season 18. Oh, I can't wait. Just let me sit here for another 68 hours.
We're only 87 seasons in.
Yeah.
What?
That doesn't...
It gets slow about season 54.
Yeah.
It doesn't pick back up again until about season 83. But it's a lot of filler seasons. You gotta watch them too.
And knowing Netflix...
Knowing
Netflix is the one that... They'll just drop the entire fucking series at once.
Oh yeah, so you can binge it.
So, or no, not Netflix. I think... Does Amazon do that? I think Amazon does.
Everybody's doing it now.
I think. One of them.
HBO Max.
One of them.
Prime. They all do it.
No, HBO didn't, because you had to wait for... For Twisted Metal?
That was Peacock.
Oh,
that was different.
Maybe it's Peacock that does it, yeah.
No, Peacock made you wait.
That's what I mean. One of them makes you wait.
Oh.
Which I appreciate.
Yes. Game
of
Thrones originally did, yes.
Yeah, but, I mean... As far as this day and age, that's what they all do now. It's like, listen, we're going to drop the entire fucking series. And then you just, open up the app and you look, it's like, oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, there's 102 seasons. Cool. And then someone says, oh, you got to start watching it. Listen, you got to get through about a quarter of it, and then it gets good at season 27. Like, fuck, I can't wait. How many episodes per season? 26. Awesome. How long is each episode? An hour. I can't wait. It's a good thing I hurt my back and I'm out for some. But seriously, it's fucking, it's ridiculous.
That was 3 summers ago. 4 summers ago now?
3.
3.
Yeah.
God damn, I remember. You got fat. You look like me.
Was it 3 summers ago? Yeah, I think it was.
Laugh and hide real pain.
Yeah, it was 3 summers ago now. This summer. Jeez. It's already 3 years ago.
This fucker used to do that all the time.
Well, that's